So I go to visit my sons in Los Angeles, and about 12:30, I'm sleeping while one of my sons is working. I get a phone call, Dad, listen to this. So he's in a karaoke bar, and there's this Spanish guy doing this knockout version of My Way with just a little bit of an accent. I heard the bar all clap, and he said, Dad, you just got to come over here. And I said, I'm sleepy. He said, come on, get up. So I got my old ass up, and I went over across the street, a little karaoke bar. And so I'm having a beer there, listening to the amateurs. But that one guy blew me away. That's when it went over, and I met him, and it was like really pleasant, and it was a wonderful experience. And so my son said to me, get up and do a karaoke number, Dad. And I said, oh, I'm not getting up. I'll get up and do the Village People, YMCA. He said, no, Dad, don't do that. And I said, he's a little sensitive to my sense of humor, right? Okay, to make a long story longer, I said, okay, I'll get up, but I'm not going to do a song, and I don't want the music either. And the DJ looked at me and said, and I said, I'm just going to do a poem, a cappella. He said, a cappella, what's that, ice cream? I said, no, it's without music. And he went, okay, but this is a karaoke bar. And I said, I know, but I'm not going to do a song, I want to do a poem. And the audience said, let him do a poem. So he gets up there, and it does I consider one of the greatest poems ever written. It's called Man, by a poet from the 1800s named of Algernon Charles Swinburne. And he was a rebellious fellow back then. He wrote about some pretty weird things, but he wrote this one poem called Man, and I'm going to do it for you right now. Before the beginning of the years that came to the making of man, time with the gift of tears, grief with a glass that ran, pleasure with pain for leaven, summer with flowers that fell, remembrance fallen from heaven, and madness risen from hell, strength with our hands to smite, love that endures for a breath, night the shadow of light, and life the shadow of death. And the high gods took in hand fire and the falling of tears, and a measure of sliding sand from under the feet of the years, and froth and drift of the sea, and dust of the laboring earth, and bodies of things to be in the houses of death and of birth, and wrought with weeping and laughter, and fashioned with loathing and love, with life before and after, and death beneath and above, for a day and a night and a morrow, that his strength might endure for a span, with travail and heavy sorrow, the Holy Spirit of man. From the winds of the north and the south, they gathered as unto strife. They breathed upon his mouth. They filled his body with life. Eyesight and speech they wrought, for the veils of the soul therein. A time for labor and thought, a time to serve and to sin. They gave him a light in his ways, and love and a space for delight, and beauty and length of days, and night and the sleep in the night. His speech is a burning fire, with his lips he travaileth, and his heart is a blind desire, in his eyes for knowledge of death. He weaves and is clothed with derision, sows and he shall not reap. His life is a watch or a vision, between asleep and asleep. And the karaoke bar exploded with applause. And the bartender said, hey, come over, come here. He said, I've been doing this for 35 years. I've never seen anything like that in my life. I've never heard anything like that in my life. And he gave me a free drink. So I said, well, now look here, Al. You could go try this in all the karaoke bars and see if, you get free drinks. So I went over to another karaoke bar, and then I went to another one, and another one after that, and there are like 20 in the same area in old downtown LA. Got thrown out of every single one of them. I've been thrown out of better places, let me tell you, but it was quite a shock for me to say. I thought I was going to earn like $10 a night going from karaoke bar to karaoke bar. Anyway, I told my son about it. He just laughed uproariously, and then he sent me home. The end.